Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. If you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 100 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. If you love rankings, reactions, sports news, sports talk, anything sports betting, answering your questions right here on the podcast every single Wednesday. If you love any of that, what you just heard, it is definitely worth hitting that subscribe button as I post here daily. So, yeah, let's get into today's video here today. The main thing I'm really going to talk about today is the Eagles and Cowboys, of course, as that is our first game of the year, which is tonight. Thank goodness it has been way too long without the NFL. I think we're all ready to be able to have every single Sunday, hours and hours on end on Sundays watching games. So that is back. There will not be another Sunday for the next 20 plus weeks without games. So yeah, let's get into it here today. I talked about yesterday on my channel, slips for Sundays. It would be every single Friday. I talk about my best bet slips, go over some spreads, anything over Sunday, some of my favorite games to bet on. Today we're going to kind of just go like a mini version of that just for the Thursday night game here tonight. So the spread right now is set at 7.5. Obviously the Eagles are the favorite over the Cowboys. Defending Super Bowl champs, of course. I think for one, I think we all agree. Well, one, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about this before I get into what I was about to say. The 7.5 spread. I don't know. It's a little more than a touchdown. Divisional games are wonky. Week 1, people are really out on the Cowboys. I think people are actually going to be kind of surprised with the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys are going to have a bad year. Now, whether or not they make the playoffs is another story, but I don't think they're going to be putrid. Like some people are talking about them in the category with the Titans and stuff. They're not going to be that level of team. I think this team could be a 9-win team, like a 9, maybe max out at 10 wins. That could be enough to get a playoff spot. And a divisional game in week 1, I always say last year, the New Orleans Saints looked like the greatest thing since the greatest show on turf, Rams. I mean, they looked like, and they were better than them. Their offensive numbers for the first couple weeks of the year last year were unheard of. They were insane. Derek Carr looked like an MVP candidate, and now a year later, he's retired, and the Saints are starting Spencer Rattler, the quarterback they drafted in the draft this year, and couldn't even beat Spencer Rattler in the quarterback competition. And it's looking like they're going to pick first overall. So things can change very quickly within the first couple of weeks. But that goes to show you the first couple of weeks are weird, especially for sports bettors. They usually kind of give caution for betting the first couple of weeks because it is very wonky. You usually get a very good feel after the first couple of weeks. That's when the professional sports bettors really start hitting more consistently, at least. But the 7.5 spread with the Eagles and Cowboys, I don't mind it at all. I definitely take the Eagles, though. But at the same time, I'm a little weary with it. Whether or not you want to bet on the spread is completely up to you. I did put the spread online. I do think the Eagles are going to win by more than 7.5. I have them winning by about 10 points. I have them winning by 10. So I took the spread there. If you wanted to take the Cowboys spread, I could understand a little bit. Again, divisional game, wonky. They're kind of slept on a little bit coming into this game, of course. I think the Cowboys have some serious offensive firepower. The only thing that sucks is their running backs. Their running back room is not good at all, to be completely honest with you. So they're going to kind of struggle in that department. That Eagles defensive line is tough. I mean, that's going to give them some serious issues. Let me mention this as well. I can't remember if I did mention it or not. I don't think I did, but if my bet slips, if you want to see a visual of it, if you like seeing the visuals better and the payout, I'm going to be posting it on my socials later this afternoon. So if you'd like to see it, look up at @talkofthetown_pod, TikTok, Instagram. It will be there on my story. So if you'd like to see the visuals of it, really see it yourself, maybe make some changes if you want. It's completely up to you. But I really like my bet slips. I always do. I'm not going to put out a bet slip I don't like. So, again, I'm going to talk about more of that tomorrow on Slips for Sundays. So, yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Eagles 7.5 spread. The Eagles last year had a 14-7 record against the spread. Their last 5 games, they were 4-1. I mean, if you remember, they kind of had that rough start to the season last year, then really picked it up. I mean, Sirianni was kind of on the brink of getting fired at the beginning of last year, and then they just went on a tear. I don't think they lost a game for a long time at the end of the year last year, but last 5 games were 4-1, 14-7 record the whole year. The Cowboys' record against the spread last year, 7-10. Again, no Dak, injured CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, they didn't have Pickens. Their defense was pretty depleted. So, and the last 5 games against the spread, though, they were 3-2. So they had a pretty positive record. Again, I'm still taking the Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to have a really good game tonight, to be honest with you. I think the Cowboys are probably a little bit rattled with all the news and all this stuff. Micah being gone. It's definitely going to be kind of a weird game for the Cowboys. I think they'll be competitive. I don't think this game's going to be, 34-10 or something like that. But, I think this is going to be a very good game. I usually like the way the Eagles and Cowboys games go. They're pretty competitive games. But nonetheless, I think the Eagles just have the better all-around team. I think they're more comfortable coming into this year now as a team. Now that you kind of have that championship off of your shoulders, I think they're going to be a lot more comfortable just playing now. That's kind of where the Chiefs have been the last, few years or so. They've got their Super Bowls. They're out there playing the play. Obviously their aspiration is to win the Super Bowl still, but they don't quite have that pressure. The Eagles don't have the pressure to now go in and they have to go in and win every game. Like, they're going to play very comfortable. I think you're going to see the Eagles playing comfortable. And I think you're going to see the Cowboys playing a little more rattled. So I think that kind of leads to a little bit of a disaster for them. Now, let me talk about my bet slip. If you guys want to hear it again, it is on. If you want to see the visuals, it is at talkofthetown_pod on my socials. I have Saquon Barkley being an anytime touchdown scorer. CeeDee Lamb, anytime touchdown scorer. Him and Dak. Dak throws him what seems like 100 times a game. I do have Dak with 210 plus passing yards. I know the Eagles defense is tough, but Dak throws for a lot of yards. I think they're going to be throwing a lot. The running back room is really bad. And, whether or not Dak gets 300 yards, if he gets 211, that's perfectly fine. Jalen Hurts, 25 plus rushing yards. A.J. Brown, 50 plus receiving yards. Dallas Goedert, 15 plus receiving yards. And I'm also putting the spread at -7.5 for the Eagles. So if you'd like to check that out, make sure to check that out on my socials, of course. That's my bet slip. Of course, I feel extremely comfortable with it. Man. I mean, the spread with the Eagles and Cowboys, kind of wish the number, I don't know. I do like 7.5. 7.5 isn't bad, though. I just wish it was like 7. If that half was not there, it would definitely feel a lot better. So, definitely, but I am going to take the Eagles at 7.5. They're the favorites, and they feel like they're having favorites in this game. Next thing I want to talk about is, what is the Cowboys' path to win this game? One, they have to stop Saquon Barkley. I think if you make Jalen Hurts pass on you, I think that's your chance to win the game. Now, losing Micah kind of hurts a little bit, but I think they still have a pretty good defensive line anyway. Diggs, Deron Bland, I think them having your cornerback duos, if you make Jalen Hurts pass, they're due to make mistakes at some point. But the thing is that offensive line's dominant, Saquon's dominant. It's going to be hard. Their path to beat the Eagles is difficult. I think Dak cannot throw a bunch of turnovers. Take every opportunity you have against Philadelphia for sure. I'm not trying to make it seem like Philadelphia is unbeatable, but their roster is just probably one of, if not the best roster in the NFL. Them and the Ravens feel like they just have the best roster for sure, because they do. So in a divisional game, the Cowboys just have to take every opportunity they have and run with it. No interceptions, no stupid mistakes, no silly fumbles, no 4th and 1 and you don't convert. And now the Eagles are a couple yards away from field goal range, and all you have to do is give Saquon a 5-yard handoff. You can't afford little mistakes like that. No team can. The Eagles can't even afford to make mistakes like that. But the Cowboys, especially coming into this game, they just have a lot of noise around them. And it's going to be difficult for them to win this game, I think. I really do not think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I feel pretty comfortable with that. Now, in about 12 hours or so, I could look really stupid. But I do seriously feel very comfortable with saying I think the Eagles, whether or not they win the game by by how much, I do think the Eagles are going to win this game. Yeah, Cowboys, just do not make any silly mistakes. Dak did look turnover prone last year, which is a little worrisome. Again, who knows what was going on at the beginning of last year? The Cowboys their whole season was off last year. Their whole season kind of seems off now, but I think Dak is going to throw for a bunch of yards, a bunch of touchdowns, not this game, but his whole season. So, yeah, Cowboys' path to win is pretty simple. What you have to do for any other game, pretty much, but except kind of now on a higher level against the defending Super Bowl champs in a divisional game on national TV. I think their offense, though, this team is not going to, they're not going to get blown out. I mean, they have good players. So, last thing I want to talk about today is the NFL RedZone announcing their commercials yesterday. Scott Hansen said it. Dude, that's terrible. I have been an NFL RedZone subscriber for years now, and the whole thing is that they don't have commercials. I don't even understand the point of that. That is going to flop very badly. I was literally saying the other day to my dad that I think I'm going to renew my RedZone subscription coming up here this week. Or not that I think that I was going to, because I do it every single year, that I'm going to renew my RedZone subscription. Well, now I was talking to my friends yesterday, and I'm like, there's no way I'm renewing my RedZone subscription. Why am I going to do it with commercials now? Yeah, the whole thing is him coming on, Scott Hansen at the beginning saying, welcome to 7 hours of commercial-free football. What's he going to say now? Well, welcome to 7 hours of commercial football. I'm curious what he's going to say this Sunday that's his main quote. That's what he's known for saying. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that is a massive L. Again, corporate greed is kind of getting out of control. Not kind of, it is getting out of control, to be completely honest with you. And we're seeing it right here with NFL RedZone. I think it's caused a lot of backlash. I think this is something next year that could really change. I think they'll go back and say, okay, we need to pull the commercials back. We're trying to make extra money, but instead we're losing a ton of money now. Was it ESPN bought RedZone a little while back this year? And I had a feeling when the rumors were swirling around that NFL RedZone was going to have commercials, I was like, they're going to have commercials at some point. I didn't necessarily think it'd be as so soon to be this year. I didn't necessarily think it would be this year, but I thought it would probably be next year or the year after that. We'd be seeing NFL RedZone with commercials, but they pounced right on it and did it this year. I was like, what? I was pretty shocked at the fact that that they took or that they did the commercials this year. So I was looking at my notes and I scribbled something down and then I crossed it off. But I didn't cross it off well enough, and I was like, what in the world? I didn't remember talking about that, but that's for tomorrow's topic. I was going to talk about the Chiefs and Chargers today, but I'd rather save that for tomorrow to add an extra topic on to tomorrow's episode. Today's episode is going to be kind of short. I have a busy morning. I had class this morning as well, so I have to edit, get ready. I have something to do later this morning, so a little bit shorter. Talking about my spreads and stuff earlier as well. I'm going to go more in depth with it tomorrow and even next Thursday and stuff. But I just kind of want to give you guys my slip for today. Again, if you want to see it visually, it's on my socials. But yeah, of course, I feel very comfortable with giving you guys any bet slip, anything like that. I'm not giving you guys anything I don't think that can't win, of course. So yeah, man, I'm excited for tonight's game. Again, like I said, the Eagles are the favorites by 7.5. The spreads is 7.5. A lot of the wise guys kind of like the 7.5 spread. So do I. Quite frankly, so do I. Kind of wish it was at 7, but they won't give us that magic number, of course. But yeah, Eagles Cowboys tonight. Let's enjoy that game. We are finally back. I'm not an Eagles or a Cowboys fan, of course. I'm a diehard New England Patriots fan, but I don't care what football game it is. It's going to be Panthers and Saints tonight, and I'd watch it just the same. So we are back tonight. NFL RedZone, like I said, kind of brutal, to be honest with you, with the commercials. Not kind of, it is brutal. They're going to lose a mass amount of subscriptions. One of them is right here. They're at least losing a subscription here because I'm not paying for that. So I think that could definitely pull back next year, to be completely honest with you. I think we'll be hearing him say again, 7 hours of commercial-free football this time next year, because I think RedZone is going to take a massive decline after that. If you didn't buy subscriptions already, like me, if you were about to, you didn't. Some people don't care, which is fine. I'm not necessarily a person who cares about ads. Like, I'm not going to complain about a 30-second ad on YouTube. I'm not paying $18 a month to pay for YouTube Premium or whatever it is. I'm not paying for that. I'm not doing it to skip it, to not have a 30-second ad on my video. And most of them you can skip. I'm not, you figure the minimum wage in America is like $15 or something, or at least where I live at. The minimum wage is $15. I'm not working a little over an hour to pay for a YouTube subscription when I could just watch a 30-second ad on a video. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, it just kind of gets ridiculous. Like, I don't necessarily care about that, but I don't know. When your whole stick is having commercial-free football and hearing him talk and having constant highlights, whatever game it is up on the screen, to avoid having commercials on, is just kind of pointless. Now there's games on, but you're showing a commercial instead of putting the game on, which is what, I don't like that at all. I think it's a terrible idea. I think a lot of people think the same. So, yeah, hopefully they change it back. But that's it for today's episode. Short, quick episode. Kind of just wanted to go over things briefly here today. If you like what you saw today, again, make sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button. Tomorrow, we have our first Slips for Sundays here on the YouTube channel. A lot more we're going over, a lot more slips, a lot more spreads, a lot more talks about sports betting and just my favorite games heading into the week. So yeah, and everyone enjoy tonight's game. Happy NFL week, and I will see you guys tomorrow.